Now on WDIO News at 10.
Minnesota seniors being taken advantage of.
Does rip families apart.
A year-long investigation finding the culprit to be their loved ones.
Snow has been falling all day. I'll tell you how your weekend is shaping up.
And a former police chief's new calling.
I want everybody wearing this stuff.
How Herb Finday's passion is inspiring many beyond the Fond du Lac community.
This is WDIO News at 10.
No one wants to believe that someone that you love would abuse you or take advantage of you, and it happens all the time.
The most vulnerable members of our families taken advantage of by other family members. A problem that runs through every corner of the state. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bailey Warfield.
And I'm Darren Danielson. In this year-long investigation, reporter Kirsten Swanson found that senior citizens in Minnesota are being financially abused and exploited by the ones they trust the most.
In darkness, into the light.
Kirsten Swanson with that report. Advocates say uncovering cases could be as simple as asking a few key questions like, is anyone spending or taking your money without your permission? Then pay attention if loved ones are reluctant to answer. That could be a sign that something's wrong. And do not be afraid to get involved, even if it's not your family. In Minnesota, you can report cases anonymously. We've provided a number for you at WDIO.com. Up next on Eyewitness News.
And there is a bunch of new damage, significant damage.
A raging beast of a storm pummeling the Lake Superior shoreline.
If you don't have any business down there, please stay away.
Power outages, flooding, and to the north tonight, rain changing to snow. We have complete storm team coverage and
everybody thinks I'll never have a fire. It will never happen to me.
An Eyewitness News special report that could save your life.
Live from the WDIO broadcast studios, this is Eyewitness News at 6 on WDIO WIRT.
Good evening, I'm Darren Danielson. Thanks for joining us on this windy Wednesday. It's a busy weather day here at home and across the country. Just hours ago, a Category 4 hurricane made landfall in Florida's Panhandle. That storm packing winds of 155 miles per hour. Hurricane Michael impacting our weather right here at home, creating a massive weather system that has been sitting on top of us for several days. And today, boy, are we ever seeing the eye of it. Winds reaching 60 miles per hour here in Duluth, Lake Superior pouring onto our streets, the winds knocking down trees and power lines in its path. This evening, our storm team is on the ground. Our reporters Taylor Holt and Ryan Junty and Bailey Warfield, all right in the middle of the storm tonight. We want to begin with Chief Meteorologist Justin Lyles, who has been tracking the system since Monday. Justin.
You know, everybody has the same question. When is this going to end? Will we see any sunshine soon? We'll try to answer that coming up here shortly.
Well, you said it was coming, Justin. You even warned of damage to the lake walk a couple of days ago. Duluth is still recovering from a big storm not even a year ago. The late October storm last year caused $10 million in damage. And now tonight, we're sad to say, Justin was right, even more in the same exact areas too. Reporter Bailey Warfield is standing by with more. Bailey, what are you seeing?
If you see any street damage or any standing water that you want to report, please call the number on your screen. It is 218-730-4100, 218-730-4100 to report any damage. And Darren, crews are hoping to get out as soon as they can tomorrow morning to start assessing some of these damages.
All right, thank you very much. And this storm, which began last night, knocked down trees and power lines, causing some outages. At last check, Minnesota Power and Lake Country Power are reporting more than 2,000 Northland customers still without power, most of those outages in the ESCO area. And we have a link at WDIO.com to help you report any of the outages and also check when power is expected to be restored once again. Now, several businesses are also seeing flooding from this storm. Our reporter Taylor Holt joins us live from Canal Park with how businesses are faring down there. Hi, Taylor.
Alley all the way across the street, which is just so crazy to think about. And we actually have Ryan Junty joining me down here right now, and we were just talking about how this is such a similar scene to last October.
Yeah, absolutely, Taylor. Well, who would have thought that we'd be talking about a storm of that magnitude again here in October as well. Now, showing you here a little perspective on how windy it is here. This is our WDIO umbrella. We were holding it up and it literally just snapped right in front of us here, Darren. So real hard evidence on just how bad it is out here and not to be taken lightly.
Indeed, very much. And up the North Shore, in fact, before we go to that, we're even losing power here in the station periodically. But up the North Shore, they were experiencing a fury of the waves. This is a look at what was happening in Grand Marais earlier today. Some of the water, of course, flowed inland and made parking lots up there look like, well, like small lakes, actually. And in Superior, more damage and floods have affected several neighborhoods there. Here's video of the Central Park Disc Golf Course by Faxon Creek. You can see almost completely flooded walkways there. And also in that neighborhood, check that out. Huge tree fell down there, barely missing cars. And on the street there, you can see another one just real close by what it looks like it was close to on its way down as well. And right now at WDIO.com for you, our storm team has several resources that you can use to track the weather wherever you are. Just head to WDIO.com from your phone or your computer. You can use our interactive radar to see the current weather at your exact location. And you can see the future weather forecasts too. That's all at WDIO.com. Still to come. If your smoke detector goes off in the middle of the night, do you have a predetermined escape plan? Our Fire Prevention Special Series could help save your life. And a live look at our harbor cam right now. You can still see rain coming down. Our latest storm team coverage when Eyewitness News continues.
Is WDIO News at 10.
Good evening. It is a busy Friday evening as we are tracking two developing stories as we come on the air.
We begin with a massive response underway right now to the Boundary Waters canoe area. There are limited details, but we can confirm multiple crews are searching for 5 Girl Scouts who are stranded in the Boundary Waters. The St. Louis County Rescue Squad confirmed that 2 girls have been struck by lightning. One of them is said to be in critical condition. We are working to learn exactly where they are, but we know rescuers are opening the Pike Lake Emergency Operations Center to monitor that search. Rescue crews also requested help from the National Guard's Black Hawk helicopter, but it is not available tonight. We will stay on this and update you with any information as it comes in.
Also on this Friday night, we are tracking a police response on the Iron Range. This evening, several blocks were shut down near the 800 block of 6th Avenue East in Virginia. Authorities have not confirmed with us exactly what has been going on there. However, there was crime scene tape up in the area. We're also working to get information on this story for you, and we will, of course, bring you any developments as we learn more.
News at 5.
We begin with some breaking news out of the St. Cloud area where a Minnesota National Guard helicopter has crashed. This is a live look of the wreckage. The Minnesota National Guard confirmed they lost contact with the UH-60 Black Hawk shortly after takeoff this afternoon. We know right now 3 people were on board. No word this afternoon of the condition of those people, and we are keeping a close eye on the story. We'll have more tonight at 6 and online at WDIO.com.
At 10.
Helicopter in Mayday. They're not seeing it on the radar.
A tragic day in Minnesota. A National Guard Black Hawk helicopter crashing just minutes after taking off near St. Cloud. Tonight, what many feared the most, all 3 service members aboard killed. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Darren Danielson.
And I'm Bailey Warfield. With a heavy heart, the Commander-in-Chief of the Minnesota National Guard, Governor Tim Walz, confirmed this evening that all 3 soldiers died in that tragic crash. It was around 2 this afternoon when they called in
WDIO News at 10.
A storm team weather alert starting us off tonight. Good evening, I'm Bailey Warfield. Darren is off. In just 24 hours, we are going to be hit by yet another holiday storm. And right now, it appears this storm will be bigger than what we saw a few days ago. It looks to span all the way from the Midwest to the South. And tonight, the concern remains people making it back home from their holiday destinations. Our chief meteorologist, Justin Lyles, is keeping an eye on this storm.
Bailey, to show you just how strong this system is, this video from Antelope Valley is just north of Los Angeles. This is a lower elevation area, which means usually snow doesn't accumulate there, but we are talking several inches of snow there, and that is the system that is headed right here. Now, you can see that the warnings expand all the way from
News at 6.
These kind of situations, they happen everywhere, but it especially hurts when it happens in your own community.
A frightening start to the Friday on the Fond du Lac Reservation. A shooting breaking out during a funeral, forcing students and workers nearby to shelter in place. Tonight, we are learning more about the man who was shot in the head and the man who has been arrested in connection with that shooting. And we're bringing all of that to you in complete team coverage. Bailey Warfield will join us in just a minute with reaction from the tribal community. But first, Alejandra Palacios is live in Cloquet with the very latest on this incident and investigation. Alejandra is calling the strongest wind event in more than a decade. Wind gusts nearing 80 miles an hour.
So let's bring in Storm Team Chief Justin Lyles now. Justin, you're keeping an eye on weather conditions out there and cold temps here at home.
Well, let's first start off out there because, you know, they are dealing with some unprecedented wind.
Up next on Eyewitness News.
The FBI and Grand Rapids Police make a big announcement. The stolen ruby slippers have been found.
And tonight, we are going back to where it all started. Someone breaking into the Grand Rapids Museum and making away with this valuable artifact.
Well, we of course have had kind of lost hope because the slippers were here on loan.
We have team coverage of what the future holds.
I'm Justin Lyles. More rain could lead to some flooding. I'll have the details.
And steelworkers have voted to authorize a strike if contract negotiations break down. The latest starting now.
This is WDIO News at 6.
Tonight, a stern warning about smoking in your home. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bailey Warfield in for Darren. 2020 is off to a tragic start when it comes to fatal house fires. Just in the past 2 weeks, 8 people have died in house fires, and nearly half of them happened right here in the Northland. Renee Pasal leads us off with the warning tonight. Still to come here at 6, we know the sled dogs are ready for the bear grease, but apparently this cockapoo is too. We have a very cute video for you.
I'm Brandon Weathers. The mild temperatures are cooperating quite nicely with the Lake Superior Ice Festival. Coming up, we'll take a close look at the sculpting process.
At Amsoil Arena, I'm Alicia Tipke. 2 longtime rivals return to the ice, and their bench bosses are former teammates. We'll have more in sports.
Well, they are parents, sons, and daughters, brothers, sisters, and beloved friends. You are looking at just a tiny fraction of lives in Minnesota here that have been cut short by the opioid epidemic. Now an online database is trying to use stories and not numbers to show how this crisis is hitting home. Here's Eric Chaloux.
DIO News at 10.
First tonight, breaking news out of Pearl Harbor where there has been a deadly shooting. The military says a U.S. sailor has shot and killed 2 civilian Department of Defense employees. We understand that right now that the sailor also shot and killed himself. This happened around 6 o'clock our time. Right now, a motive for the shooting is not known and the sailor has not been identified. One other person is in the hospital though. Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam in Hawaii has now reopened following a lockdown.
We begin this Monday morning with breaking news. This is a live look at the Adas Israel congregation in Duluth's Central Hillside neighborhood where crews have been battling a fire for several hours now. Firefighters were called to the Orthodox Jewish synagogue just after 2 this morning. And as you can see right now, it appears they have been able to knock out the fire. Video we shot earlier this morning showed smoke and fire pouring out of the synagogue. We're still waiting on official word, and we will bring you any updates we get on air and online at WDIO.com.
Tonight on WDIO News at 6, prayers answered.
Jamie has been found safe and has been reunited with her family and friends. There is truly nothing in the world better than that.
88 days of pain, but no shortage of hope.
The will of that 13-year-old girl to survive and escape.
Joy filling the hearts of many.
The sheriff come to my house and he was smiling and he had the best news ever.
And I don't think that I am alone in feeling like I could just cry when I heard the news.
He looked in the camera and he made a plea and said, Jamie, you know, if you're out there, you tell Grandpa where you are and I'll come get you.
It took 3 months, but tonight, Jamie Kloss is home safe. Up next on WDIO News at 6.
Winter weather likely rolling through the Northland, going to impact your early morning commute.
A consumer alert tonight.
Sadly, these scammers just prey on people's fears.
What you need to know about utility scams, especially during the holiday season. And lights, action, go.
Bentleyville is returning for its 16th year. I'm Alejandra Palacios with the last preparations underway.
I'm Bailey Warfield here at Festival of Trees in Virginia. A festive weekend is ahead. More on that coming up.
This is WDIO.
3, 2, 1.
Bentleyville is back for its 16th season. Tonight, WDIO is bringing you all the excitement.
We are looking at just how much this holiday tradition benefits those who need it the most in our community.
It takes a team to make sure Bentleyville is a success each year. A behind-the-scenes look at the people that make it happen.
The travel down to Bentleyville will be beautiful this evening, but the storm team is tracking 2 winter storms that will impact your holiday travel.
We are now just hours away from Congress deploying one of the strongest powers under the Constitution. Good evening, I'm Darren Danielson.
And I'm Bailey Warfield. The U.S. House of Representatives has only taken a full vote on impeachment twice in our nation's history. But tomorrow, President Trump is expected to be added to the list. Right now, it appears House lawmakers will vote along party lines on the impeachment decision. They will decide on 2 articles of impeachment: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. This historic move comes down to a July phone call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. Democrats say they are holding the president accountable for asking for a political favor from a foreign entity. Republicans say the move is a sham.
And on the eve of this historic vote, people across the country and right here at home taking to the streets to urge lawmakers to vote for impeaching the president. Alejandro Palacios is here with what you can expect tomorrow and how our local lawmakers are defending their decisions.
Well,
indeed, Alejandro.
And today, House lawmakers in the Rules Committee clashed over the impeachment process. The disagreement in our nation's capital, of course, being seen across America. The latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows the public is sharply divided down the middle on impeachment, 49% in favor, 46% opposed. And with the Democrat-controlled House anticipated to vote in favor, top senators are already sparring over the expected Senate trial. Democrats there want top administration officials to testify, but Republicans are opposed to that.
What is Leader McConnell afraid of? What is President Trump afraid of? The truth? But the American people want the truth.
If House Democrats' case is this deficient, this thin, the answer is not for the judge and jury to cure it over here in the Senate.
A Senate trial is expected to be held in January, and sources say it could last about 2 weeks. WDIO will continue to follow this process with you. House lawmakers begin the historic process around 8 tomorrow morning. ABC News will bring you special reports throughout the day on the air and online, and we will have a complete recap beginning with WDIO News at 5. Now at 10, a president impeached.
It doesn't really feel like we're being impeached.
A divided Congress taking a historic step towards stripping the president of his powers.
When you see something that is not right, not just, not fair, you have a moral obligation to say something, to do something.
Today, a dangerous precedent will be set. Impeachment becoming a weaponized political tool.
Tonight, we are in our nation's capital with what comes next.
Also tonight, a big step for Twin Metals.
We are $450 million and 10 years in.
How the mining company is making progress in what could become Minnesota's first copper-nickel mine.
This is WDIO News.